Imagine our planet, Earth, in a constant state of tremor. Picture the ground beneath your feet, which you once trusted to be solid and unyielding, now in a state of perpetual motion. The very foundation of our existence, the Earth itself, is no longer a symbol of stability but a source of continuous upheaval. The ground beneath our feet, usually a symbol of stability, is now a source of perpetual motion. Cracks form and widen, the earth splits open, and the once solid ground becomes a shifting, unpredictable force. Imagine walking down a street, feeling the ground tremble beneath you, never knowing when the next violent shake will come. This is not a fleeting earthquake, a momentary shudder of the earth. This is a relentless, unending series of tremors that never allow the ground to settle. Buildings sway and crumble, infrastructure is constantly at risk, and the very fabric of our cities is under threat. The aftermath of each quake blends into the next, creating a continuous cycle of destruction and rebuilding. This is a reality where the very ground we stand on never stops shaking. The constant motion affects everything from the tallest skyscrapers to the smallest homes. Roads crack and buckle, bridges sway precariously, and the infrastructure we rely on becomes a daily hazard. The relentless shaking becomes a part of life, a constant reminder of the Earth's unpredictable power. The consequences of such a scenario are nothing short of catastrophic, impacting every facet of our existence, from the tangible built environment to the intangible realm of the human psyche. The physical destruction is immense, with buildings reduced to rubble and entire neighborhoods left in ruins. But the psychological toll is equally devastating. The constant fear and anxiety of living in a world that never stops shaking can lead to widespread trauma and mental health crises. The Earth's crust, once a source of life-giving minerals and a foundation for our civilizations, becomes our greatest threat. The geological changes are profound, with the landscape constantly shifting and reshaping. The ground we once relied on for stability and resources is now a source of danger and uncertainty. The very earth that nurtured us now threatens our survival. Familiar landscapes are reshaped right before our eyes. Mountains crumble, valleys form, and the natural world is in a state of constant flux. The beauty and stability of our environment are replaced by a chaotic and ever-changing landscape. The places we once knew and loved are transformed beyond recognition, leaving us to navigate a world that is constantly in motion. The rhythm of life, once punctuated by predictable seasons and the comforting cycle of day and night, is now ruled by the unpredictable cadence of the trembling earth. Daily routines are disrupted, and the sense of normalcy is lost. People must adapt to a new way of living where the ground beneath them is never still and the future is uncertain. The constant tremors become the new normal, shaping every aspect of life in this world of perpetual motion. The most immediate and visible consequence of a constantly shaking Earth is the destruction of infrastructure. The ground beneath us, which we often take for granted as stable and unyielding, becomes a force of chaos and destruction. Buildings, bridges, roads, everything we rely on for our modern lives are designed for a static ground. These structures, meticulously engineered and constructed, are meant to stand tall and firm, providing us with safety and convenience. They are not built to withstand the relentless stress of constant motion. The continuous shaking and shifting of the Earth's crust places an unbearable strain on these man-made marvels. Even structures designed with earthquake resistance in mind would eventually succumb to the incessant tremors. Over time, the repeated stress weakens their foundations, leading to catastrophic failures. Imagine the iconic skyscrapers of our cities, once symbols of human ingenuity, swaying and collapsing like fragile towers of cards. These towering giants, which once stood as testaments to human achievement, are reduced to rubble in the face of nature's relentless power. The very foundations of our civilization crumble, leaving behind a trail of dust and debris. The aftermath is a haunting reminder of the fragility of our built environment. The transportation systems we depend on, roads, railways, airports, are rendered unusable, cutting off vital supply lines and isolating communities. The impact on daily life is profound, as the movement of goods and people grinds to a halt, leaving cities and towns stranded in a state of disarray. The environmental consequences of a constantly shaking Earth are equally dire. Landslides become commonplace, reshaping mountains and valleys with terrifying speed. Coastal regions face the relentless assault of tsunamis generated by the constant seismic activity on the ocean floor. Soil liquefaction, a phenomenon where saturated soil loses its strength and behaves like a liquid, turns once solid ground into a treacherous trap. Buildings sink, infrastructure collapses, and the very landscape we depend on for survival becomes an unpredictable and dangerous adversary. Beyond the physical devastation, the psychological toll of living in a world of perpetual earthquakes would be immeasurable. The constant fear, the uncertainty, the loss of loved ones and homes, these are wounds that cut deep into the human psyche. Rates of PTSD, anxiety, and depression would skyrocket. The fabric of society, already strained by the challenges of a changing world, would be stretched to its breaking point. The constant threat of collapsing buildings and unpredictable ground movement would make even the simplest tasks, like gathering food or seeking medical attention, a life-or-death gamble. Section 5. Global upheaval, economic and scientific fallout. The economic ramifications of a constantly shaking Earth are staggering. Global trade grinds to a halt as transportation systems fail. Insurance companies facing an unprecedented wave of claims would collapse. The very foundations of our interconnected global economy would crumble, leading to widespread poverty and social unrest. From a scientific perspective, this scenario presents both a terrifying mystery and a unique opportunity. Geologists would race to understand the forces driving this unprecedented seismic activity. Their findings could revolutionize our understanding of plate tectonics and the inner workings of our planet. Section 6. Echoes of Doomsday: Cultural and Psychological Responses. The idea of a constantly shaking Earth has long been a staple of apocalyptic prophecies and disaster movies. These narratives often tap into our deepest fears about the fragility of our existence and the awesome power of nature. In the face of such a catastrophe, cultural and religious beliefs would be tested like never before. Some might find solace in their faith, interpreting the earthquakes as a sign of divine judgment or a test of human resilience. Others might turn to science and technology, seeking solutions and explanations in the natural world. Section 7. Preparing for the unthinkable: Practical Steps for Survival. While the prospect of a constantly shaking Earth is terrifying, it's important to remember that even in the face of unimaginable challenges, the human spirit is capable of remarkable resilience. While traditional disaster preparedness measures like stockpiling supplies and creating evacuation plans might seem inadequate in this scenario, they can still offer a measure of control and security. Learning basic survival skills such as first aid, shelter building, and water purification would become essential. Community cooperation, already vital in the aftermath of natural disasters, would be paramount in this new world. Sharing resources, knowledge, and support would be crucial for survival. Section 8. A future defined by resilience. In a world where the ground beneath our feet is never truly stable, we are constantly reminded of our fragility. The dawn of each day brings with it the promise of new challenges and the hope of overcoming them. The scenario of a constantly shaking Earth is a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of nature's power. Earthquakes, with their sudden and unpredictable nature, serve as a powerful metaphor for the uncertainties we face in life. They remind us that despite our advancements, we are still at the mercy of the planet we call home. It is a stark illustration of the challenges we face in a world grappling with climate change and other existential threats. From hurricanes that devastate entire regions to wildfires that consume vast forests, the evidence of our changing climate is all around us. Melting glaciers and rising sea levels further underscore the urgency of our situation. Yet, it is also a testament to our capacity for adaptation, innovation, and resilience. Engineers and architects are designing buildings that can withstand natural disasters. Communities are coming together to rebuild stronger and more sustainably. The installation of solar panels and other renewable energy sources highlights our commitment to a greener future. Faced with unimaginable challenges, we would be forced to rethink our relationship with the natural world, to reevaluate our priorities, and to innovate in ways we never thought possible. Scientists are studying geological changes to better predict and prepare for future events. Community groups are actively discussing and implementing environmental plans to mitigate the impact of these disasters and to forge a new path forward. Planting trees, attending community meetings, and repairing infrastructure are all steps towards a more resilient future. These actions, though small on their own, collectively contribute to a larger movement of change and adaptation. In the end, our survival would depend not just on our technological prowess, but on our ability to come together as a global community, to support one another and to share resources in times of crisis. International aid workers and diverse groups collaborating on projects exemplify the spirit of unity and cooperation that is essential for overcoming these challenges and to rebuild our world from the ground up. Construction workers, volunteers, and community members all play a crucial role in the rebuilding process. Their efforts symbolize the collective strength and determination needed to create a resilient and sustainable future for all.